Shalom, all praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, El Shai, Ba'ashem, Harakah, Kodash. Double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. And shalom to the whole elect. This is Payal of the GMS London camp. And this is news and prophecy and news. I got an article here from Yahoo Finance. And the title reads, Colonial Pipeline paid hackers nearly $5 million in ransom. Alright, so this is the fallout of what happened with the whole pipeline apparently getting hacked and putting a stop to like the energy supply on the east coast of America, of Babylon the Great, as it's spoke of in the Bible. Colonial Pipeline Co. paid nearly $5 million to Eastern European hackers on Friday, contradicting reports earlier this week that the company had no intention of paying an extortion fee to help restore the country's largest fuel pipeline, according to two people familiar with the transaction. The company paid the hefty ransom in difficult-to-trace cryptocurrency. This sentence right here, that it means a lot, man. And when I say these points, these are just, speaking as a man, just like weighing things up and looking at things and saying, that looks like it's going this way. And you had I believe, I didn't watch it, but I know Elon Musk was on SNL. He gave a monologue which I think more or less trashed Dogecoin. It took a little bit of a hit, I think. I didn't really look into it properly. I spoke with a Jake in the world down. Man, you talk. I was in the gym earlier today and I overheard like a PT speaking like a financial advisor with his client, man. So is that the reason everyone now knows about crypto basically, and stocks and bonds and all this type of stuff. Everyone's in on it, right? So that information I told you about, the whole Dogecoin and everything like that, was coming secondhand from that nigga I know. So yeah, basically he went on that show, said that, and then he basically said Bitcoin can't pay for Tesla Motors no more. So it's showing you the volatility of the market. And I think, me speaking as a man again, all right, basically he's gonna bring about he's gonna be maybe if not one of the reasons why, definitely one of the reasons why, leading to the CBDC, basically the central bank digital currency, because it's kind of exposing the fact that this crypto is decentralized and doesn't have no one to answer to. It's highly volatile, and anyone with pulling power can really change the tide with the market, all right? And you never know, more things can happen, We don't know. We're just feeling it out as we go along. But through the spirit, all right, weighing up the measuring the time. But the point being is that they use crypto to basically receive that money, where it's hard to trace, and they can convert it into what? Into real legal tender. So anyway, reading on, it says, underscoring the immense pressure faced by the Georgia-based operator to get gas line and jet fuel flowing again to major cities along the eastern seaboard. Those people said a third person familiar with the situation said the U.S. government officials are aware the Colonial made the payment. Once they received the payment, the hackers provided the operator with the decrypting tool to restore its disabled computer network. The tool was so slow that the company continued using its own backups to help restore the system. One of the people familiar with the company's efforts said a representative for Colonial declined to comment, as did the spokesperson for the National Security Council. Colonial said that it began to resume fuel shipments around 5 p.m. Eastern Time Wednesday. The hackers, which the FBI said are linked to a group called DarkSide, specialize in digital extortion, and are believed to be located in Russia or Eastern Europe. Alright. On Wednesday, media outlets, including the Washington Post and Reuters, also based anonymous sources, reported that the company had no immediate intention of paying the ransom. Ransomware is a type of malware that locks up victims' files with which the attackers promise to unlock for a payment. More recently, some ransomware groups have also stolen victims' data and threatened to release it unless paid, a kind of double extortion. The FBI discourages organizations from paying ransom to hackers, saying there is no guarantee they will follow through their promises to unlock files. It also provides incentive to other would-be hackers, the agency says. And that's another key point, because now that, hacking systems has been incentivized, as they say, that means there's going to be a greater threat from cyber war in terms of cyber warfare. All right, and remember, I did a video on a while ago. Information came out that basically the new battlefront is in the sky, all right, through the satellites and on the internet. So with that being said, that's gonna call on for what? More restriction on the movement of information on the internet. All right, free movement, for people, to mask themselves on the web. All right, so it's basically saying the internet's gonna need to be regulated, because that's the only way you can stop these would-be hackers from, making good on that incentive to hack and make money, make bank. All right. However, Ann Neuberg, the White House's top cybersecurity official, pointedly declined to say whether a company should pay cyber ransoms at a briefing earlier this week. We recognize, though, that companies are often in a difficult position if their data is encrypted and they do not have backups and cannot recover the data, she told reporters Monday. Such guidance provides quandary for victims who have to weigh the risks of not paying with the costs of loss or exposed records. The reality is that many choose to pay, in part because it costs more to be covered. The cost may be covered if they have cyber insurance policies. They had to pay, said Andre Crail, Chief Executive Officer and founder of digital forensics firm Lifasrs, Lifasrs, and a former cyber expert of Lowe's Corp. I heard about this Lowe's recently. I can't remember why. I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it now, actually. I'll check it later. All right. So it says, which owns Boardwalk Pipeline. This is a cyber cancer. All right. You want to die or you want to live. It's not a situation where you can wait. Krill said 5 million ransom is usually around 25 million to 35 million for such a company. I think the threat actor realized they stepped on the wrong company and triggered a massive government response, he said. A report released last month by a ransomware task force said the amount paid by victims increased by 311% in 2020, reaching about 350 million in cryptocurrency. So they're saying that, and even there was information that came out, and they said that I saw that on Drudge. They were talking about that basically the worth in cryptocurrency, what they call a volatile market, is greater than that in legal money, basically in dollars in circulation in the States, I believe. So, that's even problematic within itself. All right. So them saying reaching about 350 million in cryptocurrency, that's letting you know that crypto is a problem. All right, it's problematic because these would be hackers, or these hackers, sorry, are basically allowed to get away scot free without marked notes. All right, and basically make off with a ransom and run off into the sunset and start their new life. The average ransom paid by organizations in 2020 was 12,493 dollars, according to report. Colonial, which operates the largest fuel pipeline in the US, became aware of the hack around May 7 and shut down its operations, which led to fuel shortages and lines at gas and stations along the East Coast. All right. So yeah, with all these things happening, you can see that basically during that time, man, it's gonna lead to hyperinflation, right? And basically a lot of people being out of pocket, because if for crypto to be worth, or even for that to be paid out in crypto, that money's now, there's basically a lot of people putting a lot of money into crypto, and this is something that's going to be pulled out, all right, at some point soon. But the point being, all right, the main real reason why I really picked up this article is because it said that they was talking about difficult to trace cryptocurrency, all right, and basically that being an incentive for these cyber attacks and everything, because this just ties into more reason to shut down the web and regulate and constrain it, all right. I already went into the internet, my previous video, all right, a couple precepts and that, see if the spirit stirs up something for me to jump on. You know what? I'll read this. So it's the book of 2nd Ezra 9:1. It says, "He answered me then and said, Measure thou the time diligently in itself, when thou seest part of the signs pass, which I have told thee before, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made." Right, so we're basically seeing these signs play out before us, all right? And this is part of the signs of the time, because this colonial pipeline getting locked down, right? Though, what kind of got me into it was about the Internet of Things, well, the crypto and everything like that. This really had a greater effect beyond, all right, that the fact that the hackers made off with the money. It exposed the vulnerability of infrastructure, all right, to basically getting hacked, and basically all the implications it had, because basically it affected the food supply, all right. It also affected it's escaping me now, food supply, all right, energy supplies to people, price. Basically it basically is like the root and cause, or the catalyst for hyperinflation, to bring in a lot of these prophecies that I'm going to read into, all right? So let me read on. It says, verse 3, "Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and uproars of the people in the world, then shalt thou well understand that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning." Yeah, all these things we're seeing were ordained before there was even anything known as the internet, right? You may look at it like, oh yeah, just some hackers or whatever, or Esau, CIA, and but really it's the Spirit of the Lord, all right? This is all for the time of the end, to bring about the famines, all right? The famine of the word, all right? great death upon the earth. All these things are happening for that reason. So it says verse 5. So it says, then shalt thou well understand the Most High spake of these things from the days that were before thee, even from the beginning. For like as all that is made in the world have a beginning and an end, the end is manifest. Alright? So yeah, like everything that has a beginning and an end, the end is being manifest before us. Even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings in wonder and powerful works, and endings in effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Shall be preserved. Salakia, let me read that again. Verse 7. And everyone that shall be saved shall be able to escape by his works and by faith whereby ye have believed. Yeah, we believe on the Lord, and that's going to be our strength of salvation. Okay? Shall be preserved from the said perils, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning. Alright? So this is part of, I believe it came out earlier today. They were saying they didn't pay, they just got made access, but it's come out now that they actually paid. Alright, and all the implications of them paying for something that caused great problems within, America. Alright, Babylon the Great basically speaks to, we gotta lock this shit down. Alright, not to say that it can't happen again, but you can see where the tide is moving towards. This ain't, everything opening up and you can do this and that and the other again and moving towards you being able to fly out and do. That don't mean shit, man. It's the end, alright? All this is letting you know. If you're paying attention to what's going on in the background and you ain't distracted by the foreground, you'll see that this is the end, alright? So with that, I pray you edify to the next one. I'll say shalom. Shalom.